night, celebrating World AIDS Day. Fiji hands over chairmanship of ISC. And business stakeholders in Lautoka urged to work together. Today is World AIDS Day. It's a day set aside to support those living with HIV and remembering those that have succumbed to the illness. And it is also a time to focus on the unified approach taken to address HIV and AIDS. For the first 6 months of the year, 28 new cases have been recorded, bringing the cumulative total to 508.
The prayer breakfast this morning to commemorate the event discussed a few pertinent issues. Often a day for reflection, the local World AIDS Day Committee analyzed past year's programs and its impact. Up until June, 508 cases were recorded. There are several reasons for the increase, one of which is this.
The community are more informed now about the infection, how to prevent themselves, and the information, the treatment is available. So they have that confidence of coming out to facilities, accessible health facilities where they can come in and have their HIV test done. That is one area which we've seen a change.
With limited funding, the ministry relies on its partners to assess the programs it has in place. But gaps still exist. One of the challenges it deals with is ignorance.
We still need to give more information to the public. Like what we've heard this morning, the gap in trying to upgrade the progress of our HIV response in the country is the ignorance amongst some populations. So information still needs to go out to most of the rural areas where I believe we haven't really touched.
The involvement of the faith-based organizations definitely a crucial part of the campaign. Knowing the reach that they have, the largest Christian denomination, the Methodist Church in Fiji, is doing its bit to help the cause. One of the methods it's taking is to empower its ministers in order to impact most, if not all, its members.
We are trying to use the manual for Christian ministers and pastors that was prepared by UNAIDS in collaboration with SPETS office to use that as part of our teaching material, inculcate it to our curriculum where we are training ministers. We believe that by empowering them with this information, our ministers will be able to impact at the grassroots level throughout the islands, wherever they are being posted to go and serve.
President Ratu Epeli Latikau, in his role as the HIV ambassador, has been quite active in terms of advocacy. He commended the various initiatives in place and encouraged continued partnership and a holistic approach to address HIV and AIDS. Amelia Vunilamba, Fiji One News.
But while there has been a lot done to raise awareness, quite a few barriers still exist. However, this hasn't deterred organizations involved in advocacy work.
Vanindulaki and her group at Fiji Network Plus believe that prevention is cheaper than cure. They've gone all out in their quest to achieve that.
In 10 weeks, we distributed 13,000 pieces of condoms. And most of these condoms are also coming from people who are requesting for condoms. And so that's one of the biggest achievements that we've had early this year.
But stigma and discrimination is still a major concern. Dulaki says people have to stop fearing HIV, get tested and determine their status.
And our poster that we developed for that project is becoming very popular, with everybody asking, can we have some posters? We want to take it to this workplace. So that's something that we're doing. And we're working closely with the medical professionals in the hub centers and talking to them about what the needs are from the communities, and they're telling us what they feel about how they're approaching the services. So it's a partnership that needs to be nurtured.
Meanwhile, UNAIDS has found that dealing with stigma and discrimination is quite a challenge.
What has been found out is that there are still punitive laws in the Pacific, as well as other HIV-related, stigma-related issues, which hamper the response. So stigma and discrimination is still a challenge in many of our countries.
But it has commended efforts to ensure medical services are accessible.
What is encouraging is, for example, Fiji government has taken on itself to avail treatment to all that need it, coming from their own domestic sources of funding.
World AIDS Day is celebrated globally on December 1st. I'm Ilevunilamba, Fiji One News.
Prime Minister Commodore Voreqe Bainimarama's term as chairman of the International Sugar Council has ended. The deputy chair of the ISC, Derek Heavens of Jamaica, now takes over as chairman. Commodore Bainimarama commended the ISC for entrusting the chairmanship of the council with Fiji. He adds that it has been both a pleasure and privilege for government. Chambers of commerce around the country have been urged to work closely with respective special administrators to ensure they look after the needs of their people. Speaking at the Lautoka Chamber of Commerce meeting yesterday, Acting Prime Minister and Attorney General Ayaz Sayed Qayyum says that most of these running these organizations have been there for too long and changes are now needed.
The meeting yesterday afternoon with those in the business community in Lautoka thrashed out a couple of issues. The acting Prime Minister told them that it was time to put the differences aside and work with the government.
One of the issues that I've been trying to grapple with this week has been, for example, changes of commerces. We have a number of towns in Fiji where there have been absolutely no collaboration between the special administrator and the chambers of commerce or the chamber of commerce in that particular town.
He raised some concern about the leadership of most chambers of commerce around the country. This was especially for those that have been in control for some time. Syed Qayyum says that it was about time that new ideas were brought in.
We must always have new ideas, new ways of looking at things, making paradigm shifts, thinking outside the box. It's only then that any organization becomes quite vibrant and dynamic.
A few weaknesses were pinpointed. The acting Prime Minister hopes that going forward, marked improvements will be noted.
We have to be prepared to be able to reinvent ourselves as individuals, as an institution, as an organization, as a town, as a city, and indeed as a country. And that is what is critical, is the investment in ourselves and our ability to reflect on ourselves to see where we want to be, what are our strengths and what are our weaknesses.
The Lautoka Business Forum discussed issues related to the economic expansion of Lautoka City. Drew Bukelangi, Fiji One News.
Ahead in the news, promoting Fiji-made products. "39 locals have been recognized for the efforts to craft and promoting locally made products. The group were presented with their Fijian crafted licenses yesterday by the Acting Prime Minister Ayaz Sayed Qayyum. They were part of the Western Craft Fair. Sayed Qayyum said that the Fijian Crafted Initiative is part of the ongoing Fijian Made campaign. It's all about encouraging Fijians to buy locally made products, which in turn keep the economic benefits here.
But I'd like to also say to you that it is very important that you as various stakeholders ensure that when you are giving goods to be certified, that you make sure it is authentic. Otherwise, if it's not authentic and we have some non-authentic products coming in and being certified as Fijian made, it will reduce the value of all the products.
The group have also been reminded not to compromise the authentication of their work and maintain standards. Sayed Qayyum adds that government is now putting measures in place to allow local artisans to enjoy their hard work in craftsmanship.
The government is very much focused on empowering people, whether it's roads, water, electricity, or whether it's initiatives such as this, or whether it's next year you don't have to pay for education for your children. So what we are trying to do is say to you, we want you to get a higher price for your mats or your basket or whatever you make. You have more money in your pocket, so next year you don't have to spend it in school fees. You spend it on yourself and your families. And go and spend in the economy, because we'll take care of the tertiary fees for your children.
A 39-year-old labourer of Lami will appear in court tomorrow charged with assault. Police said the labourer assaulted a 35-year-old casual worker of the same settlement following an argument. In a separate incident, a 28-year-old woman was assaulted during a drinking party in Pacific Harbour on Friday. Police are looking for the suspect. The general public has been advised to resolve differences amicably instead of resorting to violence. The introduction of new buses are part of the bus industry's quest to continue to improve services to the travelling public. And on Friday, Sunbeam Transport Limited added 2 new buses to its fleet. This was launched by the Acting Prime Minister and Attorney General Ayaz Sayed Qayyum. Sayed Qayyum says the reduction in duty on bus imports from 32% to 0 has contributed positively to the economy.
So it does have a very important impact, not just in terms of the quality of transportation, but also the positive impact on things like the environment. Because when you bring in brand new buses, you are actually reducing the amount of pollution that goes out in the air. You're having a lot more fuel efficiency in terms of the burn rate of the fuel, of using fossil fuels. So therefore it has an impact on our foreign exchange or our importation bill.
But it was not just about unveiling the company's new buses. Sayed Qayyum also encouraged family-operated businesses like Sunbeam Transport to take advantage of incentives announced in the 2014 national budget and list their company on the stock exchange.
But it does allow the ability of others to participate as new shareholders, ordinary Fijians to participate in such businesses. So it is my public urge, of course we can't force you, a public urge to consider that. Because I think many companies now, in particular family-run companies, need to think of the long-term prospects of running a business in a very dynamically growing economy.
The University of the South Pacific hopes to make improvements to its research area soon. This is also aimed at improving its rankings among universities around the world. On Friday night, USP recognized some of its best students who were exceptional in the research component of their studies. Vice-Chancellor Professor Rajesh Chandra says that students will have to lift their standard of their work to be able to attain what USP wants to achieve.
So that we can really benchmark ourselves properly. Okay? And of course, the long-term ambition is to be in the major ranking. But in order to get there, we need to start with those that are more appropriate for institutions like USP.
Actor Paul Walker of Fast and Furious fame has died in a car crash. His publicist confirmed the news to CNN. A tweet on the actor's verified Twitter account also confirmed his passing. It said that Walker was attending a charity event for his organization Reach Out Worldwide. He was a passenger in the car. His friend also died in the accident. The actor was 40 years old. Ahead in sport, Fiji Sevens team breaks 14-year hoodoo in Dubai. And Australia claims the Rugby League World Cup title. Leading sport, Fiji beat South Africa in a thrilling cup final encounter at the Emirates Dubai Rugby Sevens tournament. This is the first time for Fiji to take out top honours at Dubai. Fueled by the support of an appreciative crowd, skipper Osea Kolinisau, Pio Tuai, Benito Masilevu and player of the tournament Samisoni Viriviri inspired our side to victory at round 2 of the HSBC Sevens World Series. Vashnil Prasad with this report.
The Digicel Fiji Sevens team reached their 6th Dubai Sevens final, and this time we're up against South Africa. All hopes in their hand to break the 14-year-old drought. And off the mark, breaking the tackles, Benito Masilevu scored the first try of the game. Fiji showed a lot of determination, and the return of Pio Tuai was a gift for the Fijians, as his magic again gave Masilevu his second try. Our national team improved on kickoff, which paid dividends, allowing Samisoni Viriviri to run in for the third try. Fiji led 19-0 at the break.
19-0 is not a good enough scoreline. Yeah. We need to get another one now.
A strong message from coach Ben Ryan, who looked forward to his first title for Fiji. South Africa managed to hold Fiji for a while in the second half. Great work from skipper Osea Kolinisau from the scrum allowed Emosi Mulevoro cross over for another try. Fiji's Johnny Tuitonga was sin bin for an illegal entry. A glimmer of hope from the Springboks as they managed to get 2 quick tries. But Leo Nekasau pinned the nail with his solo effort. South Africa replied, but only as a consolation try.
And offside, here goes Cecil Africa. Africa may have the last say, and they will through Chris Dry. Tremendous finish to this game for South Africa.
Fiji on song, beating South Africa 29-17 and claiming the Dubai Sevens after 14 years.
Yeah, Oscar's been what a brilliant captain, and he's led them all, and they've been very good. After the semi-final, you know, I just wanted to make sure I kept them just level-headed, and I didn't need to do anything. They were humble in the changing room, they were pretty emotional, and they were ready to go again. And you know, there were bits in that final. South Africa got back at us, but we were in control.
Vashnil Prasad, Fiji One News.
In the semi-final, Fiji blew away Gold Coast Sevens champions New Zealand, inflicting the heaviest defeat on the Gordon Tidgens side. They thumped New Zealand 44-0. Here are the tries.
Kunatani feeds inside for the first try of the game to Ratambuli. They've picked it up, and here comes Fiji's second try. Masilevu couldn't believe it. Yeah, I think you're right. And now Fiji have more possession, and here's their third try. It's a foot race. Who's going to win it? It's won by another Fijian and Kolinisau. And here goes Pio Tuwai. Oh, Pio Tuwai. He'll have too much pace and score a fifth. Tuwai. If they score here, it's shut the gate for Fiji. Mulivadu, and they're going to score. That is Fijian rugby at its absolute best. Pass into a Fijian, knocking it forward from the get-go as Curtis now flicks it out the back. And here comes try number 7. That Masilevu gets it wide. Here comes try number 8.
In other finals, Argentina won the plate, beating Wales 21-5. Australia won the bowl, while France took the shield. And after the superb win in the Dubai Sevens, the Fiji Sevens side has moved to second position on the IRB Sevens World Series standings. Fiji now sits on 35 points, 4 points behind the current leaders and defending champions New Zealand. Dubai Sevens runners-up South Africa is a point behind Fiji in third place, while England is on fourth, followed by Australia and then Kenya. Fiji has been drawn in a tough pool in the South Africa Sevens next weekend. The Ben Ryan side is grouped with Dubai Sevens quarter-finalists Scotland, Gold Coast Sevens runners-up Australia and France in Pool A. South Africa tops Pool B with Kenya, Canada and Spain. The defending champions New Zealand leads Pool C, while England tops Pool D. The Flying Fijians ended their northern tour with a loss, going down to the Barbarians 43-19 this morning. The Enoke Male coached Fiji side managed to get the first try of the game through Asaeli Tikoi-Rotuma. The Barbarians proceeded to dominate the game after that. They took a firm lead of 17-7 going into halftime. The Barbarians then piled on the points in the second half, but Fiji managed to cross over to the try line twice. And in the other match, the Wallabies beat Wales 30-26, victory in the final test of the year in Cardiff. The first AON East versus West Rugby Challenge ended in a 22-all draw yesterday. East took an early lead with a penalty to fullback Maika Linganganga before the West replied with a try to Savinathan Drew. East led at halftime 10-7 after captain Senivolati Vunimbola scored their first try. In the second half, both teams scored 2 tries each. The West side were lucky to score at full time through number 8 Asai Limboko to draw level at 22-all. The second AON East vs West Rugby Challenge will be held next Saturday at Lawanga Park. Australia won the Rugby League World Cup final, thrashing New Zealand 34-2 in Manchester. The Kangaroos ran in 5 tries as they kept the Kiwis tryless. Sean Johnson scored New Zealand's only points with a penalty. Here are the tries.
With Thurston. Thurston goes for a low kick. He'll find Slater, and Slater will find the in-goal to score. Thurston for Slater. And Boyd is away. Boyd has got a kick, and it's a little dusty. Crocker's picked it up. This time, this unloaded. Here come the Kangaroos. What a strike. Slater has scored. What a play. Then Morris over the top. Then Hope. Oh, touch and kick. It's still up for Australia. They'll score. Yes. What a moment for the Kangaroos.
Lambasa football team has won the Women's Inter-District Championships title, beating Lautoka 1-0 a while ago. Both teams were locked 0-0 in the first half. This is Lambasa's second consecutive title at Govind Park. And meanwhile, the Fiji Football Association's National League will kick off on the 19th of January next year. And Ravin Nath continued with his dominance in the Fiji Car Club's quarter-mile drag race today in Navua. The champion driver clocked a time of 10.04 seconds in round 2 to win yet another title with the cash prize at the race. This is his 12th quarter-mile drag race title. Meanwhile, Lawrence Assam finished second, while Ravi Nair claimed the third position. Showers were experienced over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, afternoon showers with thunderstorms prevailed. A trough of low pressure is approaching Fiji from the east, and associated cloud and showers is expected to affect the eastern and northern parts of the group from tomorrow. Recapping the headlines, World AIDS Day celebrated today. Fiji hands over chairmanship of the International Sugar Council, and business stakeholders in Lautoka urged to work together. And that's Fiji One News. Close-up is next. Join Halitesh Dutt as he finds out more about Greenpeace vessel Esperanza's mission in our part of the world. Thank you for joining us. Good evening.